Hello, good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian. And today, this is our body weight and kettlebell practice for beginners, or just to practice those basics if you are an advanced kettlebeller.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I have a kettlebell off to the side here. We'll get warmed up first with our body weight and some breathing, and then we'll get into that kettlebell move.
Sounds good. So in a position comfortable for you, I'll choose my squatting stance or similar. Take stock of the head neck. At the head neck, extension is looking up, nice and slow and casual. Flexion is chin towards the sternum or looking down. Repeat again, get the extension and looking up, the flexion down by pulling the crown of the head high, and then reset level, looking at the horizon. Next, keep the nose in the same place and laterally bend at the head neck, having the ear approach a shoulder. Return to center. Same thing, other side. Center. As we do this, avoid the no rotation or as to look at the armpit and exclusively work on that lateral bend. Return to center. Lastly, at the head neck, we'll take it in a rotation, so pull that crown of head high. Add a rotation looking over a shoulder. And then always growing tall, return to center and through center to the other side. Keep the chin tucked in, nice and tight as a spiral here, or a rotation through that axis running through your head and spine. Return, looking straight forward. Let's repeat those same actions at the chest in a moment, but first, let's just check in with the breath. 1 hand belly, 1 hand chest, 4-second inhale, create room. Letting the belly button pull away from the spine. Then exhale, pulling that belly button back in. Repeat 1 more time in a 4-second inhale breath. Make room, and then exhale, pulling the belly to spine. Same effort in the chest. Breath in. Exhale. The whole time we'll be breathing into that chest. The belly stays tight. 1 more time. Breath in. Fill up those rib spaces and slow exhale. Let's add some pauses. Breath into the belly, make room. Belly button pulls away from the spine. Hold for 4 seconds. Then exhale for 4 seconds. And hold empty also for 4 seconds. Next, breathe into the chest. 4 seconds in slow. Keep that belly tight to spine. Holding full, slowing on the exhale, and holding empty for 4 seconds. And then let's just shake that out. Let's return to that rib cage and manipulate the same way we did at the head neck. First, we'll do our lateral side bend. Keep the shoulders over the hips and tip the teapot or flex the rib cage onto the hips, and then pull back to center. Repeat to the other side. As I go to this left side, I do end up going slightly to the right to make sure that we don't spill or flex outside of the base of support, being the hips. I think we have 1 more time to laterally flex and return to center. The next movement will be most likely small, but think of taking your sternum and flexing it towards the hips in the front. Then, from the rib cage and above, try to lift the heart or the sternum forward, extending through that T-spine. Small shapes are the best here. Flexion is forward. Let's repeat that last time. And extension, making sure we're extending through the upper back and strengthening and stabilizing through the low back. Next, it's the rotation. Hands across chest or a place comfortable for you. And with the head forward and hips forward, let's rotate the shoulders. 1 way, through center, and then the other. My favorite way to describe this movement lately is your shoulders are the diameter of a circle, and you're trying to etch a circle with a compass or similar on the ground here without, again, over twisting or spilling out of your base of support. Return to center, shake it out. From here, we'll get our sissy squat going in the sense of pressing those knees over the toes. Transfer weight to that one side. I'm choosing my left. Switch it up and choose to the other. Then find center, grounded between both feet, and extend the hips through. Then let's find a little toe balance. Utilize this contact position in your lunge as we go through the get up today. Slowly return heels to the floor. Next, press those knees over the toes and then peel the heels up, staying at about the same height. Same thing, could you shift a little bit more weight to the left side or your side of choice, and then same objective on the other. Find center, stand up tall, own the balance, reset those heels. This time we'll end up on the floor. We'll go knees over toes, we'll peel those heels up, and then allow ourselves to continue to sink in the toe squat. From there, with the assistance on the floor, knees connect, extend hips, and then Lauren's going to take us through some wrists and some others.
Nice. For our wrists here, we'll push our hips back, extend our arms, and connect our fingertips to the floor through the fingers, callus line, and palms come down. From there, we'll keep our shoulders pulled down out of our ears. We'll spin our elbows, screwing them into our wrist and trying to rotate them so that blood donation faces forward. From there, keep those hands spread out wide. We're pushing our pinkies, our rings, our middles, our index, and our thumbs into the floor. And then we'll start pulling on the floor, drifting our shoulders towards over our fingertips. From here, we'll keep those elbows straight and we'll use our fingertips to press ourselves back. Repeating again, elbows are straight, shoulders are packed. Pull on the floor, shoulders over top of wrists, and then press back. One last time. Screw in those forearms into the wrists as you drift forward. Press yourself back, flicking the floor away and extending. We're going to extend our arms again, this time palms facing each other. And we'll go fingertips down, callus line, and palms. Once there, shoulders packed, blood donations forward. Push your right fingers into the floor and that'll send you to the left. Push your left fingers into the floor, sending you to the right. Let's do this a couple times. Check in again that you're using those fingers as you shift. You're keeping your elbows nice and straight. We'll end up back through center, and then again, we'll peel the palms away from the floor and fingertips will flick. I'd like to do one last wrist for today, and that's from that fist position. So with our fists, we'll hinge again, placing them underneath our shoulders. Shoulders down, elbows straight. Try to keep those elbows straight as you roll over the back of the hand, opening up the palm to face the ceiling. Check in with the shoulder and elbow. Push into the hand to get back to that fist position. Repeat on the other side. Elbow stays straight as you roll over the back of the hand. Shoulder stays low and press back up. One last time each side. Pack that shoulder, straighten the elbow, roll over the hand and push back up. And last one. Elbow straight, shoulder packed, roll over, and press back up. From here, we'll just gently push the floor away and stay seated, but coming into our 90-90 or merperson position. So with our front leg at 90, and let's also flex our front foot. So we have that dorsiflex ankle, and our back leg at 90 degrees, also bent at that ankle. From here, let's just stay up tall for a second and push that back hip forward by squeezing that back butt cheek. Really drive it forward and then gently relax. And do that one more time from this position. Push that back hip forward. Let's try to keep that hip forward and find the elbow on the outside arm. Our elbow is right underneath our shoulder, packed like it is for our get up. With that back hip extended, we'll take the top arm across our chest. Our head will rotate to look at the elbow on the floor, and then our chest or ribs will rotate towards the floor. Keep extending that back hip, then rotate your head towards the ceiling, and rotate your chest open up towards the ceiling. Keep squeezing that back cheek, pushing the hip forward one last time. Head rotates towards the floor, shoulder rib rotates towards the floor, then head opens, shoulders follow, back hip stays extended. Slowly press the floor away to that tall sit. See if we can sit up tall with no hands, and then gently relax out of that, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, from that 90-90 position, that front leg is 90, back leg is 90. Sitting up tall, how does this side feel? Different, same, easier, harder? Now push that back hip forward again. squeezing the cheek, and then gently relax. And repeat. Squeeze the cheek, extending that back hip, keep it there, and now find that outside elbow to the floor, right under the shoulder. Packed shoulder, back hip extended. From here, top arm crosses. We'll rotate our head to look at the elbow on the floor, and then we'll rotate that upper body closed. Head rotates to the ceiling, upper body rotates open. One more time. Head, neck rotate to look at the floor. Shoulders, rib cage follow. Keep that back hip extended as our head opens up and our chest follows. We'll keep extending that back hip as we press into the floor. Try to find that sit for one more second by yourself and relax. We'll do a down dog to get up and then do more from standing. So with our nice warmed up wrist, hands wide open on the floor, tuck your toes, tilting your tailbone gently to the ceiling or spilling your bowl of punch forward out your belly button. From here, we'll lift the knees off the floor, keep the tailbone long as you lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Nice long spine, gently try to straighten the knees, pushing the heels towards the floor. Take a breath. Let's rebend the knees so we're in a bear hover. Tilt the tail to the ceiling again one more time. And last time, lift the hips up towards the ceiling, pushing the heels towards the floor, but keeping that tailbone and lower back nice and long. And then add a soft bend in your knees, walking your hands towards your feet, up through our hip hinge.
The hinge.
Nice.
Excellent. We'll continue working on that hinge, but first we'll start with a single leg variation and some nice little shoulders. So Lauren, continue with that hinge, and then I'll take over the shoulders.
With our feet in our hip hinge position, so slightly wider than our hips. We'll chop our hips back. I saw a post yesterday and it was how to describe the hip hinge. And one of them was like you're closing the car door with your butt. So push those hips back behind you.
I like that.
Yeah. But not out to the side, just straight back. Anyway, hips go back. From here, we're gonna load onto a single leg. That offloaded leg is pointing long out the side. Trace a quarter circle with that toe all the way around to the back. Once you're out the back, lift the hip just a little bit, making the shin more vertical. Roll over the foot and grow tall to center. Step back to that hinge, repeat. Hip chop. Load up the other side now, trying not to shift too much or let that hip jut out. Trace the circle around the back. Lift the hip a little bit and roll through to tall. One more time each side. Hip hinge. As we transfer that weight, keep the shoulders square to the floor. Tracing, staying connected to the floor with that other leg. Lift the hip up a little bit and tall. Last one on that second side. Hip hinge. Transfer that weight. Point out the side. Draw the circle to the back. Lift the hip a bit and then up to tall. Nice. And
Excellent.
shake it out.
From hip joints down here to shoulder joints up top, stand in a position comfortable for you. Again, I'll choose that squatting stance. The A starts with the hands down low, and let's just address the shoulder blades first from this position. Lightly elevate the shoulders as to shrug, I don't know, and then pull them down on those armpits, pushing into the floor to activate the lats. Repeat again, elevate the shoulders, pull back down. If that's for you, from the A shape, let's go towards the W. In the W, we'll do the same. Elevate and down. Repeat again, elevate and down. Adding on the protraction and retraction or forward and back position of the blade. Start retracting those shoulder blades together and then scoop the elbows towards forward, pressing that shoulder blade around the body. Repeat again in our W shape with our retracted blade and the W with those forward elbows a little bit, making that blade wrap around the body. Return to a retraction, extend those elbows out to the side, and the palms could face up or forward or anywhere in between. From this position, we'll elevate again and pull. Repeat one more time as we elevate the shoulders up and reset down. Now add another retraction or squeeze between the blade, and then that protraction driving forward through the shoulder. Repeat one last time, squeeze, stiffen those elbows in, and then try to wrap that blade around the body. Repeat the retraction, and from here, aim to go overhead to the Y shape. Keep those elbows stiff, hands facing center or slightly facing forward, and for one last time, elevate the shoulders in a shrug, and then with stiff elbows, pull down. One more time, elevate. The elbows will want to bend, so it's our priority to keep them as straight as we can. Then from here, wrap those armpits around front, and then retract the blade. That's the hardest version of this, I believe. And one more time, protract forward, retract back, and then pull those elbows to the ribs. Extend the elbows with the palms forward, and then loosey-goosey style. And one more time on those hinges.
Back to hinges again. We'll start in that hip width position and push those hips back. As we transition that weight to that other side, shoulders are square to the floor, stay connected out the back with that toe, lift the hip slightly, and then up as one. Step, hip hinge, transfer that weight, loading up hamstring and glute here. Stay connected all the way out the back, lift a little bit more, and up to tall. One last time each side. Hip hinge. Keep that connection and squareness. Reaching out the back, that core brace, hip lift, and up, extending that glute at the top, squeezing. Last one on that second side. Hinge. Transfer the weight. Point long out the back, lifting, and then up to tall, and shake out. Nice.
Returning to bodyweight grooves for one last effort today. We'll aim to get overhead from this imaginary racks position. After this, we'll grab our kettlebell, but feel free to join in your bodyweight capacity or with your favorite load at your side. So let's start in our hinge. We could start with our feet as Lauren had it in our two-footed hinge stance, hinging on the hips or closing that car door behind us. Take a single hand and imaginarily grip your bell. Then wrap that hand, securing the bell with the other grip, and extend the hips, pull to this racks position. Take away that other hand, practice our full body tension technique, and with low effort right now, push or press the arm towards overhead. As here, Lauren and I are showing our gold standard elbow in line with the ear, but if you press and you're out front, that's okay as well. From this position, let's elevate the shoulders to reach away, straighten the elbow, pack the shoulder with the straight elbow, and when there's no more room in the armpit, then let that elbow pull back to the rack. Let's repeat that one more time. Practice full body tension, low effort though as you...
That means squeeze your butt and brace your core.
That does. Low, and we'll press the arm towards your safe overhead. At your end range, let's elevate the shoulders to shrug, pack the shoulder with a stiff elbow, and then continue to pull, emphasizing that tension as we pull to center. Extend the elbow, shake that out, and let's repeat that is good habits there, Lauren. So let's repeat that pickup on the other side. Then we use our kettlebell. It's a little bit more automatic. We hinge, check. We grabbed, check. We crush the grip with the other hand. We extend the hips, pull the kettlebell to rack, that full body tension technique of butt squeezing, feet heavy on the floor, but then low effort to press towards overhead. If there's a hiccup or a sticky point, check in that you can straighten that elbow. Then elevate or press away from the body and pack the shoulder with a straight elbow. Continue to pull, gathering tension as you do, returning that hand to the rack position. Relax the grip. Low intensity on the up phase here as we go one more time towards overhead. Elevate the shoulder as a shrug. Straighten the elbow, pack, and then groove that strong pull back to that rack position. And thank you for the cues, Lauren. Let's take two hands on that imaginary bell. Hinge, return to the floor, and up barehanded. Going overhead with a load is very challenging. We'll do that as our very last exercise today. But first, Lauren will cue us through some of our favorite holds here, starting with the suitcase. Ooh.
So get out your bell, whether it's imaginary or real, and stand right over top of it. With our feet in that hinge position, just like we did before, we'll push our hips back. We'll place one hand on the bell and the other hand out front so that we're square to the floor. both shoulders squared up. Preload by gripping, packing the shoulder, lifting 99% of the load with your hips and glutes, and then continue to lift, driving your hips through. Step, probably narrowing that stance just a little bit so the bell's on the lateral side of our body. From here, our feet are rooted, our glutes are squeezed, our core is braced, and that opposing side is working really hard to keep us upright for 5 more seconds. That shoulder is retracted and packed, engaged in the lat. Step to your hinge position. Keep that other hand in front as you push your hips back to stay square to the floor. Stand up without, shake, repeat on the other side. Hip hinge. Grip that bell with the other hand, but square up so that arm's in front. Pack shoulders, brace, preload, and then up to tall. Bringing the bell beside you. Now it's that other side working. The flank of your body here, working hard to keep you upright. Try to keep that weight even in both feet here, squeezing and bracing, shoulder retracted and packed. Hold for 4, 3, 2, step. Hinge with both arms coming through center and up without. Whew.
In between sets of our active holds here, we'll perform sets of body weight get-ups. Place the hand across the chest if that's for you, or challenge yourself with that overhead arm. From here, the leg that we can touch would drop back in the lunge, and let's take 5, 4, 3 seconds to pull ourselves to the ground. Wiggle that leg to the side. Straighten that elbow, Ian, then add the rotation. Hinge on the hip. Find the floor and stack. From there, we'll sweep through. This is our tall sit. Find the elbow next, and then push the floor away through that elbow, levering to the ground. Again, extend the hip, reversing our steps, and then to pull on the elbow. Transition to the tall sit. Press the hand and the foot through the floor, and then sweep that long leg. Slide the hand up, squaring up the lunge, and now press away from center to tall, and if your arm is overhead, emphasize that practiced groove of the press. Shake it, switch it. Hand across chest, or in that overhead position, leg we can touch 5 seconds descending in the lunge. Think pulling yourself down with control. Then that leg opens to the side. Next, rotate through the body. Hinge on the hip. Find the hand on the ground. Don't kick the kettlebell in front of you. Sit into that tall sit. Then find the elbow. Press the elbow in the floor, levering to the ground, and then reversing the step, starting with our hip extension push to pull on the elbow. Then our tall sit. Press the hand and foot on the floor to bridge, and sweep. Slide the hand up the leg. Establish your square lunge and press away from center to stand up. Our body weight grooves of that get up. And then next, some more holds.
Next, some more holds. So we'll get out that kettlebell again, and we'll stand over top of it. This time we're taking it to that rack position. So when we do that, I like to place the handle parallel with my feet. Right over top of the bell, we'll use our hip hinge to push the hips back. This time we'll grip with one hand, that's the side it's going to, cuddle with the other, zip up our jacket as we pull that bell into the rack position. If you're ready, take away that top hand. From here, a checklist: feet are rooted, glutes squeezed, core brace, vertical forearm, nice straight and strong wrist. Don't let that bell pull the wrist back. Holding, imagine we could press this bell next for 4, 3, 2, step, 2 hands. Keep the bell tight to the body as you put it down. Stand up, shake it out, and we'll repeat on the other side. Hip hingey hinge. Grip with your single hand. Cuddle with the other. Zip straight up the body and hold. In this rack position, imagine you're in that plank position. So the ribs to the hips, vertical forearm, tension coursing through your veins. For 4, 3, 2 hands on, use your hinge and park that bell. Stand up without, shake it out, do some get-ups.
Do some get-ups. So again, repeating that get up, slow control on the lunge, and emphasizing those technical points along the way for strength. Hand across chest or hand overhead, and that leg we can touch drops back in our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 second lunge. Then open that leg to the side, rotation, hinge. Place the hand on the floor, sweep the leg. Next, find the elbow, and then push off that elbow, returning to the floor. Reversing the steps, we'll push through the floor on the hip. Pull on that elbow next, and link it to our tall sit. Push the floor away, sweep the long leg, and square up that lunge next. Check. Now press away from center. The front foot goes forward, the back leg drives to the back, and assembles together. Same thing on the other side. Beware of those kettlebells around your body and your space. Press the arm overhead. 5 seconds in this lunge, and think scissoring or pulling yourself down with control. Open that leg to the side. Next, we have our rotation, the hinge. Sweep legs. Don't kick your partner either. And then from the tall sit, we'll find the elbow, and on the elbow, reaching away to the floor. Now push that heavy foot in the ground, extend the hip, pull on the elbow, tall sit, bridge, sweep, hand up a leg, square up that lunge, and then press away from center, and then pull that heavy kettlebell back down to the rack.
Whew. Excellent. We have another hold here, and we're going to do our firing range.
You said you want firing range.
We're gonna
I love the firing range.
Okay, we're going to do our firing range. We said we were going to do it before class.
Great.
Let's lie back down on the floor. Sorry,
No
everyone.
rules.
Come on down. We're going to do our firing range hold here. So that first move of the get up where we hold the kettlebell before we do anything. What that means is we'll start on our side in our cuddle position. That bottom handle grip towards the pinky corner. Top hand cuddles. 2 hands roll to your back and press that bell. Holding it there, setting up the legs as if you're doing a get up. Right now, again, that wrist is straight and strong. That lat is engaged. The elbow is straight. And it's stacked right over top of that shoulder. The bell is towards the outside of our body versus being over top of our face, head. Holding for 5 more seconds. And then when we're ready, we're gonna go 2 hands on, pulling the bell down, keeping the vertical forearm, and then rolling to the side to place the bell down. Letting it go and rotating yourself around that bell to perform the same thing on the other side. Again, starting in that cuddle position with our pinky side close to the corner. 2 hands grip, 2-handed roll, 2-handed press. Once you feel ready, remove that second hand and set up the legs in your get up position. Checklist again, wrist is nice and straight. That bell is resting on the outside of your forearm. The elbow is nice and straight as well and packed over top of your shoulder. We're thinking of that first move of the get up and how we would get there, how it would feel. And then 2 hands, keeping that vertical forearm as you pull the bell down and cuddle it back to center. Nice.
From here, set up on that original hand to the ceiling in that get-ups pose and press through the floor to the elbow and on to that tall sit. Set up our bridge, sweep the leg, slide that hand up, and to complete that get-up, we'll square up the lunge, core tension to tall. Again to the floor with control, scissoring those hips as we pull down, and then open the leg. The rotation of the upper body, followed by the hand placement on the floor. Sweep the leg, find the elbow, press away to the ground. Let's switch sides and we'll remain standing after this set of reps. Press through the floor, pull on the elbow, find the tall sit. Bridge, sweep, hand up a leg, square up the lunge, and press away from center to remain in this tall position. We have one more time, holding that kettlebell for strength, Lauren. Where's it going next?
It's going overhead.
Ooh,
If you
okay.
feel comfortable trying to get your bell overhead, let's do it. If that's not for you, spend more time in that rack position or the low hold. Here we go. We're over top of our bell. We'll use our hip hinge, gripping with one hand, cuddling with the other, zipping to the rack position. Once here, squeeze your butt, brace your core, and press that bell towards overhead. Holding it here. Packed shoulder, glutes squeezed, stacked underneath that bell for 4, 3, 2, pull down, keeping the vertical forearm. Imagine you're doing a pull-up, 2 hands, bell hinges to the floor. Shake it out, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Use your hinge. Grip with one, cuddle the other. Zip up your jacket, and press that bell safely overhead. Once there, shoulders packed, core braced, glutes squeezed, and hold. Feel that load stack nice underneath you, trying to get that bicep to cover the ear. And now slow control, pull down, vertical forearm, the lats engaged, 2 hands, and park that bell.
Whew.
Nice. Shaking it out in between.
As Lauren was advocating for slow and control, my bell was speeding up a little bit. Whew. I'm glad we only doing that once today.
Once.
The get up, we could do another set of get ups, but do that on your own another day maybe. Get ups are great for that mobility and that body awareness. Pattern with your body weight first, and then we can add a load. For now though, let's get through those steps of how we would take a deadlift or that deadlift or that single leg deadlift we did earlier into our swing progressions. For that, we'll get Lauren to demonstrate 5 repetitions of a hike pass. Just watch and then we'll do it together. A hike pass is exhibit Lauren right here. We're maintaining a super strong hinge position using those armpit lats to pull the kettlebell to the groin. The hike followed by the park out front and the reset once we're tall. We watch Lauren, now let's listen to Lauren and follow along with me.
So setting up just slightly behind your bell with your feet in that hinge position. Pull your hips back to your hinge, place your hands on the bell, and gently tilt the bell on its side. Now drag it 1 millimeter to engage your lats. From there, pull the bell to the zipper of your pants, park it back on the floor. Let's repeat 4 more times. As you're doing this, you're trying to stay the same height, nice and low. You're keeping those hips back and loaded. You're bracing the core, and you're imagining pushing through the water or concrete, engaging those lats. Park the bell, stand up without, shake it off.
From here, we'll go ahead, sorry.
Oh, push-up is
Push-ups.
what I was going to say.
Nice. So from here, let's incorporate that body weight hinge. Stand with your feet in approximately that hinge stance. Close the car door with your buttocks, and then hands to floor and modify to your high plank or your push-up stance. Modify from those knees if you have to, and emphasize our full body technique. Squeeze your bum, brace your abs, pull the armpits down, and take 5 seconds to get to the ground. And then, core brace, back up. Repeat 1 more time. Practice high tension, squeeze your buttocks, pull yourself to the floor, resisting gravity, and then to press. From here, assemble your feet in your hinge stance. Use the hands to press yourself back to the hinge, and then extend to nice and tall. Second round of the kettlebell swing. Please feel free to regress to the deadlift, practice the body weight groove, or just pick up that bell to be under load. If you're feeling confident to join us as we explore the swing, it goes from the hike pass to 1 repetition, hi-ya, of that swing. Let's watch Lauren here cueing about 4 more, making sure the timing is there, that the bell is at the hips at that moment of exertion, and then we're in that tall plank until that bell is back at the hips where we then hinge. Use the stop swing because it's really hard, but also because it helps you reinforce the pattern of successive swing repetitions.
All right.
Now it's our turn.
5 stop swings. So setting up just like you did for your hike pass, nice deep hinge, hands on bell, pull to zipper, snap the hips through to your plank, through and park. Let's repeat again. Pull, drive, through and park. At the top of the swing, it's your abs and your glutes stopping you in that ramrod straight position versus that low back. We're trying to swing to about chest height here on this last one, I believe. And
That's
then
5.
up without.
Great. Returning to the floor in the hinge, practicing high tension in the push-up. Same commitment, 2 repetitions, 5 seconds down, and exert back up. Hip hinge, that's a check mark. Hands to the floor, we're there too. Then high plank, full body tension, pull yourself down, drawing those elbows into the ribs. And then press. Adjust if you need. One more time for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press. Push through the floor, through those hands. Assemble in your body weight hinge and groove that nice efficient pattern to get back up to standing and shaking. From the stop swing, we can add the continuous effort. A continuous effort of a swing looks like this when Lauren does it. Let's watch her and then follow along with me. 1, the breath match is there. The timing is there. The heavy feet, they're turning white. Practice 5 reps, park it, reflect on your effort, shake it out. But we're supposed to be watching that one, so let's join me in this set here.
So setting up just as you did for the past 2 drills, slightly behind your bell in that hinge position, pack, and then pull and drive. Pull. Good. Each time you're getting through to that plank position, your legs are straight, your glutes are squeezed, the butt and core brace, and park with control.
We're going to do that one last time. Will be our last set of swings for today. So with 2 hands on the bell, we can swing with strength for conditioning, always practicing full body tension. 5 reps goes quick, so that's our cue to go again. Set up your hinge.
Get set up correctly before you even begin. Pull and drive those hips through each time. Pushing the feet into the floor, extending the hips all the way to tall, and bracing that top like you could take that punch. Park, putting the bell down with control, and shake it out.
Great. One last set of push-ups, returning to the floor, utilizing the hinge. Press the hips back. Hands to the floor, walk out accordingly. 5 seconds down, slowing down, gravity. Once you're at your safe bottom, high up, press back up, squeeze your butt, address your stance, continue to pull down with strength, and push with power. Use the hands, walk back to that hinge, hips through, a little bit of a shake, and there is one thing more on the menu, Lauren. Shall we do it?
Squats.
Okay.
Squats, everybody.
Squats. In a body weight capacity or with your kettlebell in a goblet hold, I go, you go, kettlebell, goblet, squats. We're doing 5 reps, 4 sets, pretty quick. Keep that heart rate going. Let's finish with strength.
If you're going to do your goblet squats, we'll be standing over top of our bell. We'll use a hip hinge to grip the top. Pull, keeping it tight to the body, grabbing the horns. Stepping into your squat stance. Here we go for 5 reps. We're pulling ourselves down and driving away.
If you grabbed your bell, this is rep number 2. You have 3 more to go. If you're watching, checking it out, as soon as Lauren's done, I'll do the same thing, picking up our bells, and we also will perform 5 goblet squats.
So with your hinge, grip the top, pull, re-grip down the horns, adjust your feet to your squat stance, pull down, drive up. No flopping into this squat. Pull yourself low. Use tension on both the down and the up. Core brace at the top. Hips extend through to squeeze the butts.
The butts and the shakes. Cheat clean again. Take rest if you need it, or this is Lauren's second set and second rep. Pulling yourself down and supporting that kettlebell with the shoulder blades and back musculature. Avoid elbows that deviate from the ribs. Keep them in nice and tight.
All right, team Ian. Round 2 here. Hip hinge, pull, catch, step into your squat stance. At the bottom, we're bracing that core to drive down and away all the way to tall. Excuse me. Keep those elbows in tight, as Ian said. Breathe as needed here. Hup. And park. Did we say 3 rounds?
I think we said 4.
Oh.
I know, it's a hot day today. We're enjoying our bike rides, but here we go. 4 sets of squats for the win. It goes by quick. Take your rest though. I go, you go. Check that out. It's a fun way to train with your partner, and it gives you just about as much rest as work, that 1-to-1 golden ratio.
All right, team Ian, round 3 here. Using that pull catch, stepping to your squat stance, pull yourself down and press down and away to stand up. Create tension the whole time while doing your squats here. Use that brace breath as you press away from the floor.
Oh, I needed that brace breath, Lauren. Thank you for that.
Sounded
cue.
like it.
Use the effort. It might be an effort, but use your core strength to stay safe and strong in any pursuit, in particular, under load in a squat. 4 sets is making me shake here, Lauren. We got one last time, I believe, here. Let's do it.
Last time. Again, use that hinge to pull the bell up, step, pull down, up to tall. So creating that tension in the abs so that we can support the spine as we press away from the floor. And park.
Let's finish today's practice with a breathing drill, trying to contain that heart rate, emphasizing the exhale. Draw on your belly button, take a 5-second breath in, and a 10-second breath out. I can't, I'm out of breath at 6. Then breath in, and slow exhale. More if you can. 2 more like that, breath in. Slow down that exhale. Keep going. And one last time. And slow down this exhale. And resume. Normal-ing breath there. Whew, shaking that out.
Somebody needs to hit the shower.
Someone needs to hit the showers here. So thank you very much for joining us there, wherever you are. And we welcome you to our studio when it's appropriate. But until then, we will end on from then. We will be here training with you online. I love the experience of training online. I've never been more accountable to my own sessions. And I've honestly never been stronger. I've had better breath though. We'll work on the breathing techniques, but continuing the strength and simplicity in your workout routine with the Bodyweight and Kettlebell.
If you want to join us tomorrow morning for our bar class, work on those hips and balance. That's at 8:30 live or anytime in the archive. Stay strong, see you soon, and take care.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a good day.